What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's happening with Tesla stock and talk about some manipulation that's been going on with the share price. I want to break down why Tesla was kind of down during the pre-market before another headline came out just as we opened to cause it to launch back up instead. And some very, very crazy things going on with the share prices for the Tesla SPY and the others. But before breaking things up, also information, before I get into any more details, let me mention a few things. I'm personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you are guaranteed 7 free stocks, and offer ends in just 7 days. Anyways, what the heck is going on with Tesla right here? I want to break this down. Tesla was down a little bit during the pre-market session. We were below some key support, so I told you to watch and see if Tesla breaks above 176 to turn back to bullish, or if we end up getting a big breakdown to 172. And what happened was we were kind of weak during the pre-market session. Tesla was showing some weakness. It was down a bit. Then all of a sudden, this news came out right before we opened. Right as we opened, this news came out. A group of Tesla shareholders are asking investors to vote against Elon Musk's compensation package. And that's very, very important. Now, what is so important about this news is the fact that right now, there's been a lot of talk about Elon Musk potentially getting another rejection for his $40 billion pay package. Musk is clearly in favor of this, and he once again wants not only the pay package, but about 25% of the company to continue developing robotics and AI. That's what he said yesterday. He mentioned that it's going to be very important for the future of humanity and many other reasons. In my personal opinion, I just want to make it very clear that yes, even if he had 25% of the company, that would not give him supreme control because 75% of the company would still be owned by other parties. That's something very important to note. But with him wanting this, right, and with this whole pay compensation plan, there's been a lot of complications because of the fact that Tesla's in a position where we're looking at falling global sales, we're looking at demand that's slowing down, and a lot of price cuts that continue to affect them. So that's the reason why a lot of these investors are just very double minded with this whole pay compensation plan. And many of them are kind of incentivizing other shareholders to vote against Elon Musk's plan. So that's what's making a lot of big headlines right now. If anything, last month the pay compensation plan was actually at about $56 billion at the time. Now it's currently about 40 billion, but that's still almost no difference. At the end of the day, it's well over what a lot of people may consider the means of Tesla. But we'll wait and see how things go. Going into the long term, yes, I think Tesla could pay this out and things will be fine. But for the short term, there are some complications because of how Tesla sales have been declining. Their earnings were not the strongest overall. And we'll have to see how things kind of continue from here amidst all these demand issues and all these negative headlines that continue to come out. So, with this news coming out, with shareholders being against the compensation package for now, this would actually save Tesla a bit, and this could actually, be a little bit different. The overall share price got a very positive reaction as soon as this came out. That's why it got this big pop. And that's why Tesla ended up continuing the way it did. There's also more news that came out that's about how US auto regulators are continuing to investigate Tesla's latest recall. And these are not, official recalls. It's just the software updates that we're referring to. But something to know is that the NHTSA has launched an in-depth investigation into Tesla's autopilot system due to numerous crashes involved in the technology, according to reports. Now, please know that in my personal opinion, I think that Teslas are very safe cars. The autopilot is not perfect, so yes, there will be some instances that do happen, but that's the reason why it's still under revisions right now. Now, their recent recall of over 2 million vehicles, and that was just a software update. It wasn't an official recall, but that's just how the media kind of refers to it. It's still getting more and more of these investigations, and there's been a lot of talk about false advertising by Tesla to kind of hinder the development of autonomous driving. So, excuse me, there's been a lot of talk about all of this. With more investigations coming out from the NHTSA, this is very, very important. Since the latest firmware updates, there were about 13 crashes reported. Was FSD involved in everyone? I don't know that for sure, but I do see that it was involved in some of them. So that's why the NHTSA is opening another investigation on Tesla. And this is some pretty big news. They also announced more investigations. They're going to continue. They've been doing this for quite some time, so it's not any like new news whatsoever. But with these new investigations that are going on, this will be very important for Tesla moving forward. Despite that news, let's talk about how Tesla is looking from a technical standpoint. So, as you guys can see, these are very important levels right about here. You guys can see that Tesla has a tendency of trying to fight this 178 to 180 zone, and we actually pushed up to this 178 to 180 area and kind of rejected a bit. We have support currently at 175 and also very close to this 173 area all the way down here, and then 172 below that. I could actually kind of adjust this a bit, but you guys can see how well Tesla's been holding up, at least for now. Right now, we have some very, very tight support zones as well for the share price. It does have a tendency of liking to bounce between levels like these. But I'll just say this for now, we're just kind of range bound. So we have resistance between 178 and 180, and we have support currently at 175, which is going to be critical for Tesla. If we lose 175, look for 173.25, followed by 172 as another support zone. And we'll see how things end up holding up for Tesla. Overall, it's just shuffling within this range. It's been stuck like this for about 4 days. I think that it might just continue to trade sideways within this range for now. But look for a little dip that's coming, the potential bounce that's going to be coming back later on for more sideways price action. I think that Tesla's going to remain range bound, at least for the time being, in my personal opinion. All right, for a couple of others, we have SPY right over here. SPY is kind of flat right now. So we haven't officially lost our 529 area. In fact, we're holding up decently. There could be an attempt to go higher past the 530s, but I don't think it's going to be that strong. SPY is very choppy, very sideways. It's been trading sideways for all the pre-market session. So I think we're just going to continue to trade sideways for today, not really do anything too crazy. Is the cup and handle still valid? It still is, but we'll have to see if we get confirmation going into tomorrow, if not later today, for this to continue. So if we lose 529.23 and we hold below that, look for 528 as key support. If we do lose that, then we're going to turn more bearish. For bullish, watch 530 breakdown. 531.5 will be our next big test. There's also 530.8 and then 531.5. Overall, I think that for the most part, we're just going to remain range bound, trading sideways, and we may continue in this trend, at least as time goes on. So I'll be watching this very carefully and just see how things go, at least for SPY, in my personal opinion. For Nvidia has a very, very nice looking structure. We have this resistance currently at this 945 area, and we have support currently at this 930 area around here as well. We did call a little dip that was coming towards 930 to 925, and then we did dip a bit before getting the bounce we called out as well. So we did dip a bit. Now we're trying to rebound to about 944. If we do break this, we could be looking for a pushback up to about 950. So I think Nvidia is going to try to rebound a bit for about 944. So watch that as a key level. I think it's going to be very range bound for the most part, not really do anything too crazy. The QQQ did dip a bit, but we have a nice structure. We actually held our 50 EMA. I did call a dip towards the 50 EMA before it attempts to possibly bounce. That's what happened so far. We have resistance that's approaching at 454. We have support currently at 453. Kind of trading in the middle right now. If we end up losing 452.75, look for a dip towards 451. And if we break past 454.5, look for 455.5 above that. Overall, it's holding up quite well thanks to a lot of tech stocks right now. So we'll give this some time. It could actually try to push higher towards 454.5 all over again, but continues to remain range bound in my opinion. For Aapl, we're pushing towards 192.5. That breaks 193.5 is next. And we have support at 192 and then 191. So overall, Apple's a little bit more bullish. We were trading sideways, kind of broke a little bit up. So it's still favoring bulls a bit more. And then we'll see what happens after that. For more data, when it comes to Coinbase, we called a dip to about 223. That is what happened so far. If we bounce off this, look for a rebound towards 226. But I do think it's going to trade sideways over here. Coinbase did push quite a bit to resistance at 233, around that area. We kind of rejected from there, so watch that carefully. Amazon's dipping exactly as predicted. We're getting very close to about the 180 area, and we're currently testing about 180 to 181. Look for a little bit more downside on Amazon and watch try to base closer to 180. For Meta, we're also dipping a little bit. Look at 466 as support. If we lose this, launch 465 and 463. There's also a risk of downside for this. With that being said, if we look at GME, we're also kind of dipping a little bit. We could be dipping towards that 20 area, but then we could get a bounce later on after we get a little dip. So look for a little bit more of a dip before we attempt to bounce on GME and also on AMC. And overall, the share prices are starting to base because there's not too much room for them to drop as much as before. So for Tesla, we're holding up very well. Tesla is still going to continue to shuffle, in my opinion, at resistance, but it's holding up very well. We'll see how the news continues to affect it, and we'll see how well Tesla does. With that being said, we'll watch this resistance at 178 to 180. If we do break this, we'll look for 182 as the next level. But overall, I think it's going to be a shuffling a lot in the 178 zone, as it loves to do historically. All right, so that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate every single one of you for your attention and for everything else like that. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys in just a couple of hours. Thank you, and peace out.